Good evening and welcome to the Guyana TV9 News Bulletin for December 19, 2025. I'm Adana Doreg. In the headlines tonight, Vice President Jack Dio urges Guyanese to prepare for opportunities in President Ali's 5-year development plan. Full court rules Sucre has legal authority to bring court actions under AMLFCT Act. Prison service ranks praise government's tax-free Christmas bonus for joint services. Full-time care for working parents. Region 3 set to get major childcare boost. And government services in minutes, not weeks, with opening of Government Service Center at the West Central Mall. Now for the news in depth. Vice President and General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party (PPPC), Dr. Bara Jakdio, on Thursday said President Dr. Irfan Ali's recent address laid out a comprehensive and carefully planned vision for Guyana's development over the next 5 years, and urged citizens to study the agenda closely so they can position themselves to benefit from the opportunities ahead. More from Colwyn Abrams.
Speaking at his weekly media briefing from Freedom House in Georgetown, Jakdio said the president deliberately spent significant time outlining the government's priorities, policies, and programs because too often Guyanese rely on second-hand interpretations rather than going directly to the source documents. He noted that if citizens carefully analyze the measures, programs, and objectives presented, they will be better able to see how they fit into the national agenda for progress and development. Jakdio stressed that governing a country requires long-term planning and cannot be reduced to a narrow focus on short-term spending or a few populist measures. He explained that the administration was elected for a full 5-year term and must plan for challenges and opportunities across the entire period to ensure that people are better off at the end of the term than they are today. He warned against policies that create short-term prosperity but lead to long-term decline, pointing to examples from other countries where poor planning resulted in economic hardship.
What the president was doing was outlining the broad agenda. He dealt with some very specific promises that he made, but he did not attempt to announce every initiative. So I've seen some people saying, we didn't see that being addressed in this speech. Well, it wasn't a budget speech. The budget speech will be in January. The president was speaking broadly about his 5 years agenda.
According to Jakdio, one of the most powerful aspects of the president's message was his acknowledgement of both progress and remaining challenges. He said Guyana has made significant gains over the past 5 years in education, healthcare, infrastructure, job creation, and income growth. But these advances have not been evenly shared across all regions or sectors. While improvements are visible across the country, not everyone has had the same access to jobs and opportunities, particularly in hinterland, riverine, and outlying regions. Jakdio said the government recognizes that there are still vulnerable and low-income groups that need targeted support to become prosperous. He emphasized that the administration is working for Guyanese across all regions and is committed to ensuring that economic growth benefits the entire population, not just those in Region 4, where job opportunities are currently more concentrated.
Still, across our country, in all of these regions, the outlying regions, and even here in Region 4, there's a group of people, poor people, who still need help to grow and be prosperous. And the president said, I'm working for Guyanese, not foreigners. We're elected, the party was elected to make progress for our people. And there are some who have made progress, and we'll continue to support them to make progress. The business community, we are creating a whole series of incentives for them to expand, create jobs, create wealth. We are going to create more opportunities for people to get into business. But we are not forgetting those who need direct support.
Turning to social support measures, Jakdio highlighted the president's announcement that budgetary provision will be made next year for a cash grant of $100,000 as part of a planned series of grants over the 5-year period. He pointed out that more than $63 billion was distributed in cash grants last year alone, an amount greater than Ghana's total annual revenue when he began his second term as president in 2026. At the same time, he emphasized that cash grants are intended to supplement income and not replace sustainable employment and long-term economic planning.
But we don't run a country only on cash grants. We are thinking about long term. We want people to have good paying jobs. We want them to have decent homes. We want them to live in safe communities. We want them to have good recreational facilities so that it's more sustainable. They don't have to wait on a government cash grant to plan their lives for a cash grant. They got to plan it around the future of their children and their own prosperity.
He said the president also reaffirmed the government's commitment to allowing workers to keep more of the money they earn through continued tax relief. This includes progressively increasing the income tax threshold over the next 5 years, building on earlier measures such as higher tax-free thresholds, tax-free overtime allowances, and tax relief for second jobs. These measures, Jagdi noted, will benefit public servants, private sector workers, and the wider business community. Colin Abrams, Ghana TV9 News.
Members of the Guyana Prison Service are welcoming the government's announcement of a 1-month tax-free bonus for joint services ranks made ahead of Christmas season. The announcement made by President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali is intended to recognize the dedication, sacrifice, and service of security personnel while providing financial relief during the holidays. Faith Sandy has this report.
The tax-free bonus forms part of a broader government initiative announced from members of the joint services, including the Guyana Defense Force, Guyana Police Force, Guyana Prison Service, and Fire Service. The 1-month non-taxable payment is aimed at boosting morale and supporting ranks and their families during the festive season, while acknowledging their continuous service throughout the year. Following the announcement, several Guyana Prison Service ranks expressed their gratitude and appreciation, describing the bonus as a timely and meaningful.
I am WPO Yolan John, stationed at the prison headquarters. I would like to say sincere thanks to the government of Guyana for the 1-month non-taxable bonus. This is a great help and it's very beneficial to me and my family.
I am Assistant Superintendent of Prison Acting, Antonia Charles, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali for granting this joint service bonus. This bonus will go to ensure my family have a joyful and wonderful Christmas. Thank you.
Woman Prison Officer 30th 49 Sharon Campbell. I would like to thank the President and the Government of Guyana for this 1-month bonus.
Principal Prison Officer 1 attached to Prison Headquarters. I would like to say thank you to His Excellency and the Government of Guyana for the one-off bonus given to joint services. This will be very meaningful for us during this Christmas season, for me and my family. I remain committed and dedicated to my job.
I'm David Shepard, Superintendent of Prisons, attached to Prisons Headquarters. I want to take this opportunity to thank the President of Guyana, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, for his generous blessing, Christmas blessing, of the 1-month bonus.
Janet Booker, stationed at the prison headquarters. I would like to express my gratitude to the government of Guyana for a 1-month tax-free bonus. This gesture will be beneficial to my family.
The tax-free bonus has been widely welcomed across the joint services, with prison service ranks describing it as a morale booster and a strong signal of government support for those tasked with national security. Faith Sandy, Ghana TV9 News.
A major expansion in childcare services is coming to Region 3 as the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security moves to operationalize a new day and night care child's facility by the first quarter of 2026. Here is more.
Executive Officer of the Early Childhood Development, Childcare and Protection Agency, Conchetta Gray, made the announcement while visiting the facility located at Anna Katrina, West Coast, Demrara, describing it as a transformative investment for working families and children across the region.
Here we are at the day and night care childcare facility in Region 3. This facility will become operationalized by the first quarter of 2026 It will employ over 100 persons from Region 3. So this facility will cater for children 3 months to age 12.
The state-of-the-art center will cater to children from as young as 3 months up to age 12, providing care for 50 children per shift across 3 daily shifts, morning, afternoon, and evening. The extended operating hours are designed to support parents who work flexible, shift-based, or non-traditional schedules. According to Gray, the facility goes beyond basic supervision, offering a safe, structured, and developmentally appropriate environment that supports early learning and child well-being.
It was built to house 50 children at any given shift. It will offer 3 shifts, morning, afternoon, and evening. It will give parents at ease and comfort knowing that you're leaving your children in a developmentally appropriate environment. And the best part is that this facility is free.
The initiative forms part of the government's broader commitment to strengthening social services, supporting workforce participation, and ensuring children receive quality care regardless of family income. Once operational, the facility is expected to significantly reduce childcare burdens for families in Regions 3, while creating employment opportunities and settling a new standard for accessible government-supported childcare in Guyana. Madana Dorek, Guyana TV9 News.
More news after the break. Stay tuned.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether the particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as the person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Channel 9 is now Guide TV9, proudly under new management. We're building stronger with a balanced and open platform for all advertisers. Whether you're promoting a business, service, or event, your message belongs right here. So choose your spot, news, prime time, or anytime, and reach viewers across Guyana. With affordable rates and professional service, Guide TV9 is your partner in progress. So visit us at Lot 21A, Lamahar Street, Georgetown, in the Century 21 building, or call 600-5006 or 761-5006. Guyana TV9. New leadership, fresh outlook, real results.
Celebrate Christmas the Guyanese way with 7 days of magic and adventure. Feel the streets come alive with lights, decor, and carols. Share in the delicious joy of favorites like pepper pot, black cake, and even ginger beer. Then explore Guyana's attractions, the majestic kite show, scenic tour on the Demerara Essequibo, and Mahaika rivers. 7 days, one unforgettable Christmas. Join us. Let's discover Guyana this Christmas.
Want to place your death announcements and in memoriam messages on Channel 9? Call 592-761-5006 710 5008 600 5006. Or visit our office at Lot 85A Lamaha Street, Albertown, Georgetown, Century 21 Building.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you are a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not on the PLE, apply for a transfer if you've changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must provide the required original source documents, birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, birth certificate and marriage certificate for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption certificate or naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Sunday, January 18, 2026. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027-8-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali officially opened the Government Service Center at the West Central Mall in Lenora, West Coast, Demrara. The new center aims to drastically reduce processing times for government services, allowing citizens to complete transactions such as ID cards, driver's license, and certificates in minutes rather than weeks. This initiative is part of the government's effort to improve efficiency and enhance the quality of life for all Guyanese through digital and in-person service integration. More in this Faith Sandy report.
During his visit, President Ali praised the speed and efficiency of the new center, noting that in just 24 hours, over 35 applications have been processed and certificates were being issued the same day. He highlighted that passport applications now take as little as 5 minutes and lauded the staff for creating a smooth and enjoyable experience for citizens. The president also spoke about the use of online systems and QR codes to allow citizens to complete forms before arriving, reducing paperwork and wait times. He confirmed that similar centers will be rolled out across regions 5, 6, 9, and 10 by the first quarter of the next year, ensuring faster, more accessible government services nationwide.
So there'll be a QR code outside the building and in every supermarket and other public areas. So people just scan the QR and they get all the government service. You fill up whatever form you want to fill up. So by the time they come here, all the paperwork is finished.
Correct.
We want to reduce your load too.
President Ali concluded that the center represents a significant step toward modernizing public service delivery, making it faster, more efficient, and citizen-friendly. The initiative reflects the government's commitment to improving access to essential services and enhancing the daily lives of Guyanese. Faith Sandy, Guyana TV9 News.
Police in Regional Division Number 2 are investigating the circumstances surrounding the alleged drowning of 27-year-old fisherman Deodat Sarju of Beehive, East Coast, Demrara. The incident reportedly occurred at about 11:15 a.m. on Thursday in the Pomeroon River near Manch Wharf, Charity River Dam, Essequibo Coast. Preliminary investigations indicate that Sarju was working on board a fishing vessel moored at the wharf when he reportedly slipped and fell into the river. The immediate and surrounding areas were searched, but Sarju was not located. Search operations are continuing and investigation remains ongoing. Vice President Dr. Bara Jackdio has outlined a series of initiatives announced or reaffirmed by President Dr. Irfan Ali that are aimed at expanding employment opportunities, accelerating housing development, and strengthening financial inclusion across Guyana. Jackdio said nearly 30,000 part-time and community service workers will benefit from a 25% increase in their stipends, a measure that reflects the government's commitment to improving the livelihoods of low-income and vulnerable workers.
Vice President Dr. Bar Jagju explained that the administration also plans to place many of these workers on structured pathways to permanent employment, providing greater income stability and long-term security. Jagju also highlighted major incentives designed to encourage private sector investment in hinterland, rivering, and other outlying regions. These include zero corporate tax for businesses engaged in export-oriented production or import substitution, as well as tax holidays linked to geographic location. He explained that these measures form part of a broader strategy to diversify the economy beyond oil and gas, while spreading jobs and income more evenly across the country.
We recognize that to get jobs and high-paying jobs in the Amerindian communities, in the riverine areas, the hinterland and riverine areas, in places like Region 10 or 6 or the other regions, outlying regions, Essequibo Coast mainly, we have to drive more businesses to go there. The oil and gas sector is not reaching, and the services sector boom that we've seen in Georgetown and Region 4 with 11 hotels and all of the new restaurants and a whole range of services here. It's not reaching these areas as quickly as we wish.
The Vice President also pointed to expanded measures to support vulnerable groups, including persons living with disabilities. These include increased public assistance, plans to create 5,000 jobs tailored to persons with disabilities, and the introduction of community-based models for care, education, and sport. He said these initiatives are designed to ensure greater inclusion and participation in national life. In addition, Jagju said the government is pursuing practical and sustainable solutions to childcare and elderly care. Through co-investment and tax incentives, private individual and community groups will be encouraged to establish daycare and elderly care facilities. He noted that this approach will not only improve access to care services, but also allow more women and caregivers to enter and remain in the workforce.
Recognize that a lot of people may want to do elderly care in their provider service wherever they live. So they too will get the same benefits, co-invest and tax benefits. And for those big places, like there's some who want to do this as a big business, they have an institution, then they don't have to pay any corporate tax. So this will make it a very lucrative venture.
On financial inclusion, Jagju said the president outlined a strong push to help Guyanese better manage and grow their wealth. Central to this effort is the establishment of a development bank that will provide zero-interest, zero-collateral loans to small businesses, with a focus on young people, women, and first-time entrepreneurs. He added that the government also plans to issue small denomination government bonds, giving ordinary Guyanese the opportunity to earn higher returns on their savings while participating directly in national development. Jagju said the President Ali's 5-year agenda offers a clear planning framework for businesses, families, and individuals across Guyana. By understanding the direction of national development and the support available, he noted Guyanese will be better positioned to improve their livelihoods, create wealth, and contribute to the country's continued growth. Colwyn Abrams, Guyana TV9 News.
More news after the break. Stay tuned.
GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors OLE if you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors PLE in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. Sunday, January 18, 2026 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. GCOM will be conducting a claims and objections exercise commencing January 5, 2026 to produce an official list of electors, OLE. If you will be 18 years or older by December 31, 2025 and you're a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GCOM will be posting the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check whether the particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GCOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GCOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. You're watching Guyana TV9 News Bulletin. The President of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, on Friday paid tribute to the late veteran broadcaster and cultural icon Ron Robinson. He reflected on the golden age of radio in Guyana from the late 1950s through the 1970s, when radio was more than a medium, it was a constant presence in everyday life. During that era, Ron Robinson's unmistakable voice became one of its brightest lights. More than a broadcaster, he was a true musical connoisseur who taught the nation how to listen, shaping the songscape of a generation. Through his careful selection of music, especially his love for harmonica-led melodies, Robinson quietly refined public taste, lingering over notes and verses, educating without lecturing, and cultivating Guyana's cultural memory with patience and grace. Dr. Ali noted that although the microphone has been laid down and the curtains have fallen, Ron Robinson's legacy endures, his life rich in meaning, his contributions lasting, and his voice forever echoing in the hearts of Guyana. The full court has unanimously ruled that the Special Organized Crime Unit SOCO has the legal capacity to institute and maintain legal proceedings under the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Tourism Act, AMLFCT Act, setting aside an earlier High Court decision that had limited the agency's powers. Calvin Abrams has more.
In a reasoned judgment delivered on December 18, 2025, Justice Nigel Niles and Zamila Ali Sefal held that the AMLCFT Act expressly empowers SOGU to pursue civil restraint and confiscation proceedings, even though the unit is not a body corporate under the Companies Act. The ruling stemmed from an appeal filed by SOGU against a May 2025 decision of Justice Peter Hugh, who struck out an application to restrain and detain large quantities of gold, foreign currency, and Guyanese dollars. The assets belong to Sebastião Moura and Gago Gold Inc. and are alleged to be proceeds of money laundering. Moura, a Brazilian national with gold mining operations in Guyana, is currently charged with 5 counts of money laundering under the AMLCFT Act. Those charges, which are directly linked to the seized properties, are ongoing before the Georgetown Magistrates Court. Appearing on behalf of SOCU, the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlao SC argued that the earlier High Court ruling effectively disabled SOCU from carrying out critical statutory functions assigned to it by Parliament. He maintained that SOCU's authority flows directly from the AMLCFT Act and does not depend on corporate legal personality. In agreeing with those submissions, the full court found that the issue was one of public importance and central to the effective enforcement of Guyana's anti-money laundering regime. The judges ruled that Parliament had clearly intended SOCU to have access to the courts in order to restrain, seize, and confiscate property suspected to be linked to criminal activity. Colin Abrams, Guyana TV9 News.
President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali on Thursday praised residents of Leguan, Region 3, for their support in the recent general elections. saying the People's Progressive Party Civic (PPPC) earned its increased majority through delivery, not chance.
Addressing a public meeting on the island, the president described Lagoan as a national symbol of unity and resilience, while strongly condemning attempts to divide residents along religious lines.
Of course, was not accidental. This support was earned by the work the People's Progressive Party Civic did and all of the promises and commitment we delivered to the people of Lagoan. Lagoan has always been the most unifying island and the most unifying place to live in our country. It's a place where young people learn what it takes and what really makes one Guyana.
He warned that efforts to create division undermine the country's history and values, stressing that such actions would not be tolerated on the island.
I was troubled recently by a few persons, and particularly one person who has no understanding of the history of this island, the history of this country, and the history of the development of our people, who try to separate or try to instigate persons against each other by religion. That is the worst form of selfishness I've ever seen. And we must together condemn it and let them know we will never allow that on this island.
President Ali outlined nearly $2 billion in investments made in Lagoan over the past 5 years, including expanded water coverage, improved drainage and irrigation systems, agricultural support, and the deployment of heavy machinery for infrastructure works. He noted that every household now has access to improved water services, with treated water expected soon. The president said these investments have restored confidence in the island, reflected in rising land and property values.
The value of your land is going up. The value of your homes is going up. In 2020 versus 2025, you would have seen the increased value in land on this island. Increased prices. Why? Because of the confidence in the island once again. Because of the investment in the island once again. And because of the development under the People's Progressive Party Civic Government.
He also announced major upcoming initiatives, including reduced electricity costs through solar energy investments, final engineering assessments for a bridge linking Lagoan and Wickenham, and the commissioning of a new ferry service to improve transportation for residents and farmers. On healthcare, President Ali disclosed plans for a new modern hospital facility on the island, offering maternity, dental, laboratory, and expanded diagnostic services. He confirmed that Lagoan now has a resident doctor with specialist visits to be introduced on a monthly basis. The president further addressed concerns from farmers, promising guaranteed markets for cattle producers, expanded co-investment in livestock, and major drainage and water storage projects to benefit more than 13,000 acres of rice land. He also revealed strong interest from investors in a proposed tourism development, which he said would create jobs and new economic opportunities for residents. Concluding his remarks, President Ali assured residents that their concerns are being continuously heard and addressed, reaffirming the government's commitment to improving quality of life across the island. Adana Dor, Guyana TV9 News.
In regional news, the Guyana Defense Force (GDF) is advancing reconstruction in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa, reflecting Guyana's commitment to CARICOM solidarity. Initially, a small team delivered emergency supplies, and the mission has now shifted to rebuilding 2,000 residential roofs for vulnerable families, particularly in Westmoreland Parish. A total of 41 GDF engineers skilled in construction and project management are working closely with Jamaican authorities. As of December 19th, 26 roofs have been completed, with work continuing daily. The mission highlights the GDF's rapid response, technical expertise, and vital role in regional disaster recovery. Internationally, Israeli soldiers have carried out raids across multiple areas of the occupied West Bank, resulting in injuries and arrests among Palestinians. In the town of Aram, a young man was shot in the leg with live ammunition. According to the Palestinian Red Crescent Society, which reported that its crew were initially prevented from reaching the scene. Additional raids took place in Al-Dakar, south of Bethlehem, and Arab, north of Harburn, where a teenager was reportedly arrested, according to Wafa news agency. Soldiers also centered Nilan west of Ramallah as part of the operations. Meanwhile, amid ongoing shortages of aid and electricity in Gaza, residents are finding creative ways to cope with daily hardship. Tassir Obeid, living in a tent displacement camp, constructed a washing machine from spare items using rudimentary tools. His inventions highlight the ingenuity that many in Gaza must rely on to address basic needs in the face of restricted resources and limited external assistance. And that has brought us to the end of tonight's newscast. Remember to check out our Facebook and YouTube platforms at GUI TV9 for more trending stories. I'm Adana Doric. Good night and have a wonderful weekend.